What's up, guys? Welcome back to the eBay Garage. Today we're going to take a look at a few things I found out at garage sales, and then we'll jump into the usual what sold over on eBay. So let's get right into it and see what I picked up. So some interesting things in the back of the truck here. We've got an old espresso machine that's in pretty rough condition. We've got an espresso machine that's in okay condition. Some vintage Syroco stuff, some Snap-on stuff. So I don't know, let's just pull all this out of the truck and toss it over here on the bench. So we'll jump right into the books. I paid 30 bucks for this whole lot. I haven't looked up everything, but I did look up these two quick right here because they stood out amongst the rest of them. This one's Diablo, the Sin War, book 3. So book 1 and 2 weren't there. I couldn't find any other Diablo books, but I'll put a comp up on the screen because this one should do pretty well. It'll pay for the whole pile of books here and then some. And then underneath it, Warhammer 40K Iron Warriors. This one should do pretty good as well. Sitting next to the books is another disgusting espresso machine. I just seem to be finding these like crazy lately. This one's a Delonghi, and they said it stopped working a while ago, and based on the location where they were, I knew they had hard water, and I figured that that was going to be an issue. And it's really tough to see. Well, if I can take this out, you can see. I don't know if you guys can see all the lines in there from the scaling in the hard water, but definitely, this one's definitely seen some hard water, and that's most likely going to be the issue, other than it being just absolutely disgusting. So we're going to have to order some Cafeza or some other coffee cleaning stuff, along with some citric acid that we'll have to mix in with water to descale the tank. So I'll put a comp up here on the screen for this one. It should do okay. I haven't looked it up, but I think the DeLonghi models typically sell pretty well. And then sitting right next to it is a Nespresso machine. When I told them, they asked about espresso, why am I buying this old Nespresso machine? I said, I know how to repair them and work on them. And they said, well, we've got another one here that you can just have for free. This one, probably going to need the same treatment. Looks like it's been in a place where somebody was hanging drywall. It's just really dirty and dusty. So 2 machines for $5. I'll take that all day. Sitting right next to those espresso machines is a $5 box that's full of chicken power. So there's your recoil. Here's your chicken power engine, or part of it, most of it. And then here is your chicken power gearbox. Have you been able to guess what this is for yet? And there's some more parts in there. I don't know if they're all for this, but this is going to be a parts are not working lot, obviously. But this right here would bolt to your bike, and this would press against your rear tire. So this is a motor, a gas motor for your bicycle. Super cool. Totally worth the $5. I've seen one of these before at like a swap meet attached to a bike, but I've never found one in all my years of picking. So this is a first finding the I've got chicken power motor. Even though it's not complete, I still had to pick it up for only $5. In front of that, from the same shop, I paid $10 for this earlier Snap-on toolbox. You can tell by the logo on it. Nothing in it, but for $10, I took a gamble. And if I can find a comp for this exact toolbox here, I'll put it up on the screen. And then another $5 thing, a bunch of old carburetors. These are steel carburetors right here on the top. I think these are made by Zama. These are probably Chinese carburetors. For $5, this is pretty much a gamble. I mean, I could sell all of these for parts are not working as a whole. What I'm probably going to do is lot up the steel stuff and then sort out the better carburetors. Here's another steel carburetor. I honestly don't know what else is in these. So I don't know if these came off of motors that were blown up or what. But, oh, here's a Walbro carburetor. So there should be some okay stuff in there. Picked up a Kioritz Echo authorized master service dealer. Just a plastic sign for only $1 at the same place. And then this Snap-on here for $20. Now the tin is maybe worth 30-ish, but it came with some okay stuff. There's a Taiwan part in here that's probably going to go right in the trash, but we've got a little Craftsman 1/4-inch ratchet in there, and then this, I want to say, that's Powercraft. This one here, this one's Snap-on, this 1/4-inch right here, and then the rest are mainly like there's Taiwan stuff, there's a Snap-on socket in there. The rest I can't read because my eyes are terrible. So yeah, $20. I took a gamble, but just the tin alone should pay for that, and the rest will be all profit. And I almost forgot The house that had these espresso machines had these Harry Potter wands. And this one came out of Universal Studios. Sirius Black Wand. I'll put a comp up on the screen for this. But they gave me both of these wands for $5. This one, it's got a chip on the bottom. And then, two tools that I forgot. Craftsman, real beefy half-inch ratchet. This is the VS 44996. And then right next to that is one that I'm keeping. It's a Snap-on 497 ACP. In the last house of the day, I picked up all of these old school, I think they're all Syroco. At least I think the majority of them are Syroco. Yeah, Syroco, made in the USA. I'll put a comp up on the screen for this one right here. And then here's the rest of them that I picked up. The hat, I don't think is Syroco, but the rest of them definitely fit that style. And I'm pretty sure they all say Syroco on the back. Oh no, this one is Dart. Looks like Dart Industries. So maybe I'm wrong. I thought these were all Syroco pieces. This one, I could not tell you. It doesn't say Syroco on the bottom. Neither does this one. This one's also made by Dart. Grabbed some Fast and Furious Blu-rays because they were only $1. And fun fact, when this movie came out, well, it's going to be the 25th anniversary really soon. And when that movie came out, this was the car I had in high school, and this is the car that I drove to the premiere of Fast and the Furious all the way back in 2001. So I'm looking up some of the Dart pieces that look like the Syroco stuff, and well, it makes sense because Dart bought Syroco back in 1965, so it shows how much I know. But anyway, let's go take a look at what's sold on eBay. It doesn't look like a lot, but there's some pretty good sales here on the table. We'll start right off with the muscle men here. I had a bunch that were sitting around on eBay, actually. It was a smaller lot, and then I came into another lot of maybe 10 or 15, so I put them all together, and this whole bag of them just sold for $30 plus shipping. This little Tonka truck here did not go for as much as I was hoping, but I think that's because, well, it's in rough shape. It's still a really cool little truck. Got some issues, obviously, but it did sell for $10 plus shipping. Behind that truck is a bag full of Care Bears from, I think, 1983. And when I found these, I didn't think much of them, but I looked them up and couldn't believe what some of these were actually going for, especially if you've got a whole bunch of them. So this one here, not a huge lot, but it did sell for $45 plus shipping. The next thing going out is this vintage Toshiba Satellite Pro. I think it's a 400 CDT laptop. It doesn't have a hard drive. It's got a crack over here. It's got its fair share of issues. The screen doesn't turn on, so this one went for parts are not working on a best offer for $50 plus shipping. Next piece going out is this Fossil watch that I picked up for only $5. It's got water inside of it, which is strange, and I thought it was broken originally because there's a second hand floating around in there, and I thought that part had broken off. I figured the gears were part of the look, but then the second hand I thought was completely broken. But apparently that is how this watch is designed, and that's how it's supposed to look. So I paid $5 for this, and it just sold for $30 plus shipping. This little slot car dump truck here just sold. You can see it's got an issue with the rear tire there. I think, no, yeah, this one's starting to come apart too. So the rubber tires on these are not in the best condition. Obviously, you mentioned that in the listing, but this came out of that US 1 highway trucking. I can't think of the exact name of that slot car set, but I paid $50 for the whole set, and I ended up having to part it out because it was not complete. And this is the first of the cars that just sold, and it went for $54 plus shipping. This Nikon camera came off of that dollar bench that was at the Madison Balkville Antique Show, and I put a battery in it, and when I went to turn it on by sliding this open, it just made some weird noises inside. So the gears are busted or something's not connected properly, so this had to go for parts or not working. But even broken, it still sold for $20 plus shipping. Next thing going out is 1989 Fleer wax box, missing one pack, and unfortunately I couldn't date this. And there's date codes, but they're on the master cases, and when you look at the back of these, you'd almost think that 8607A is the date code, but from what I read, it's not. So I can't confirm whether this has the infamous FF baseball bat error card in it. But even with missing just the one pack, it's still sold for $110 plus shipping. This Olympus Stylus Zoom DLX in the original box that I picked up at an estate sale for only $5 just sold. It even has the original receipt for the lithium-ion battery and the camera itself that was $219.97 back in 1993. It's in great condition. It does work, and it just sold for $128 plus shipping. This has been sitting in the shop for a long time, and I can't remember exactly what it is. I think it's just like a little amplifier you'd maybe put on top of your TV. I could be totally wrong. If you guys are more familiar with something like this, you can let me know. But it's a little tube amp. You can see the tubes in the back. And it's sat for quite a while. I picked this up sometime last year, and I can't test it because the cord's broken off the back, and I'm just not going to get into it. So it took a while, but it just sold for $14.76 plus shipping. The next piece going out is another item from the dollar booth at the Madison Bouckville Antique Show. It's a Vigor inside ring engraving machine. And what you would do is you'd put the ring down here, and then that is the engraver. So you'd take this piece out here, and you can see the letters that are down there. You would basically trace those letters, and it would carve it into the ring up there. Now, this is going to be parts are not working. It's rusty, it's crusty, and I haven't tested this out on any rings. But even as a possibly broken unit, it's still sold for $76 plus shipping. The real winner on the table here is this speaker. This is from the 19-inch Disney Princess CRT TV that I could not sell on Marketplace. I got lowball offers left and right, people calling me crazy because I was asking $150 for the TV. So I decided to list this separately, and you can see it's got a broken tab on there, but it does work, and it's sold on eBay for $170 plus shipping. We'll get into some ephemera sales now before we end the video. And I know there's a lot of you that follow the channel from the beginning where I was listing ephemera and talking more about ephemera. And it's stuff that I do like, but the sales have been just almost non-existent. And to give you an idea of how bad they are, over the past 31 days, my sales in that store are down 84.3% with 6,000 listings. Now, I'm not actively listing in this store. If I come across some ephemera, I'll add it to the store and hope that it sells. But with the recent post office changes with their pricing, and then with me going to calculated shipping for almost every single item in the store, it hurts sales a lot. And a lot of it also has to do with the inventory. You know, people aren't breaking down your door to buy sheets of paper from the Pittsburgh Coal Company or the McClintock Marshall Company paper here that we'll take a look at. So what I did to try to help this issue is I started a sale. So thousands of items in this store are now buy one, get one free. And I'll put a link to the store in the bottom here if you want to take a look through. And it worked a little bit. I had 2 orders maybe with a buy one, get one free. And one of them is actually right here. So we'll jump into the sales here and we'll see what's sold. First thing going out is a postcard. This is the Shrine of Immaculate Conception in Haynes Falls, New York. This one went for $4.99 plus shipping. Next one going out is a Valentine's Day card from the year 1924, February 13th, 1924. I Ain't Got No Valentine. And this one here sold for $8.95 plus shipping. Next one going out is a first day cover. I've got lots of these. They sell for very little money, right around the same price as a low dollar postcard, and sometimes even less. So I can't remember if these are buy one, get one free. I'll have to double check, but either way, this person only bought one. It's from September 27th, 1944. And this one sold for $4.95 plus shipping. The next one is a lot of 3 first day covers, and it looks like the total with shipping, so the way eBay shows the total is as if they bought them all for full price, but either way we'll take a look at all of them here. Now they're all pretty much the same. They're just from different post offices in Maine. So these are all first day covers. This one's from Pemaquid Point, I think I'm saying that right, in Maine. And this one here, New Harbor, Maine. All postmarked July 1st of the year. What year is it? What year are these? 1971. So all three of these sold total with shipping for $14.64. So they had buy one, get one free, but they only bought three for whatever reason. They could have got a fourth one for free. Next two going out. This first one here is the Pittsburgh Coal Company 1917. This one here went for $10 plus shipping, calculated shipping. So $5.65, definitely not a rural zip code at that price. It would have been several dollars more had it been a rural zip code. The next one is a 1924 McClintock Marshall Company, steel bridges, buildings, etc. Really thin, like copy paper. Some real nice handwriting on there. And this one sold for $10 plus shipping. Shipping on this one was another $5.87. So a little bit more than the last one, but still definitely not a rural zip code at that price. All right, that's going to be it for this video. Make sure you check out the link below to take a look at my ephemera store, see if there's anything you might be interested in. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.